Good morning, I am Akika Guro, and I'm going to report time management. Being overwhelmed by work and time constraints leads to increased errors, diminution of important tasks, and general feelings of stress and ineffectiveness. Time management can be defined as making optimal use of available time. According to Kamisak, many people with poor time management skills spend inordinate amounts of time burning the candle at both ends, blaming others for their time inefficiencies and getting others to work harder. Sir, managers and leaders must become expert in time management if they are going to empower others to achieve personal and shared goals and to direct employees effectively and maximize resources. Good time management skills allow an individual to spend time on things that matter. The keys to optimizing time management must include prioritizing duties, managing, controlling crises, reducing stress, and balancing work and personal time. All of these activities require some degree of both leadership skills and management functions. Three basic steps to time management. The first step requires that time be set aside for planning and establishing priorities. The second step entails complete the highest priority task whenever possible and finish one task before beginning another. And in the final step, reprioritize based on the remaining task and on new information that may have been received. Because this is a cyclic process, all three steps must be accomplished sequentially. Taking time to plan and establishing priorities. Just like an, just like the old saying, fail to plan, plan to fail is timeless. So planning is essential if an individual is to manage by efficiency rather than by crisis. Managers are new to time management, may underestimate the importance of regular planning and fail to allot enough time for it. Planning occurs first in the management process because the ability to be organized develops from good planning. During planning, there should be time to think about how plans will be translated into action. The planner must pause and decide how people, activities, and materials are going to be put together to carry out the objectives. Without adequate planning, however, the individual finds it difficult to get started and begins to manage by crisis. Unfortunately, two mistakes common in planning are underestimating the importance of a daily plan and not allowing adequate time for planning. There can be no sense of achievement at day's end if the goals for the day are not clearly delineated. To overcome undesired outcome, we must adapt SMART. It is an approach to planning that allows learners to make effective use of every study period, whether the learning activities are formal or informal. Whether you are a student, a manager, or a staff nurse, planning takes time. It requires the ability to think, analyze data, envision alternatives, and make decisions. What happens in this approach? You should set specific clear goals to be accomplished. Record your progress as measurable progress maintains your interest. Identify the steps needed to accomplish your goals. Be realistic about your time constraints and set goals that can be accomplished within this. And set a time frame and plan for this. Priority setting is perhaps the most critical skill in good time management because all actions we take have some type of relative importance. One simple means of prioritizing what needs to be accomplished is to divide all requests into three categories. The don't do. The don't do items probably reflect problems that will take care of themselves and are already updated or better accomplished by someone else. The do later. Some do later items reflect trivial problems or those do not have immediate deadlines, thus they may be procrastinated. The do now. The do now requests most commonly reflect a unit's day-to-day operational needs. Do now requests also may represent items that had been put off earlier. Some projects are not accomplished because they are not broken down into manageable tasks. The last step in time management is reprioritizing. Often, one's priorities or list will change during a day, week, or no longer because new information is received. If the individual does not take time to reprioritize after each major task is accomplished, other priorities set earlier may no longer be accurate. Personal time management. Personal time management refers in part to self-knowledge. By being self-aware and setting goals accordingly, people determine how their time will be spent. If goals are not set, others often end up deciding how a person should spend his or her time. Self-awareness is a leadership skill. For people who are not certain of their own short and long-term goals, time management in general possesses difficulties. Managing time is difficult if a person is unsure of his or her priorities for time management, including personal short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals. Using a time inventory. A time inventory allows you to compare what you plan to do as outlined by your appointment and to-do entries with what you actually did. The greatest benefit from a time inventory is being able to objectively identify patterns of behavior. It may be necessary to maintain the time inventory for several days or even several weeks. Integrating leadership roles and management functions in time management. Managing time appropriately reduces stress and increases productivity. The current status of healthcare, the nursing shortage, and decreasing reimbursements have resulted in many healthcare organizations trying to do more with less. The effective use of time management tools, therefore, becomes even more important to enable leader managers to meet personal and professional goals. The leadership skill of self-awareness is also necessary in time management. Leaders must understand their own value system, which influences how they use time and how they expect subordinates to use time. The manager must be able to prioritize activities of unit functioning to meet short and long-term unit needs. The leader manager must initiate an analysis of time management on the unit level, involve team members, and gain their cooperation in maximizing time use, and guide work to its conclusion and successful implementation.